Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Lunchtime Linkup Series, where we bring members of the DivInc community on to talk about how we're impacting the tech ecosystem with diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility as our guide. I'm your host, Sharice Luter. I'm the marketing director here at DivInc, and we are in part 6 of our Meet the Founder series, where we're introducing you to our Sports Tech Accelerator cohort for the 2022 season. And today we have Ked, what's up, Ked, of XR Sports Group. And I'm going to let Ked do his own introduction and tell us about his company. And take it away, Ked.
Thanks, Sharice. Great to be with you today. Thanks so much for putting this together. Um, there's so much to unpack. Where should we start?
Well, I think let's just start with tell us about your company. Let's start there, and then we'll get into you as a founder as well. So, number one, let's go with the company.
My company is XR Sports, and we are a launchpad for media properties such as pro sports teams, gamers, music artists, to build a fan engagement hub. And so our number one mission is to make the internet much more equitable for creators. We help those guys monetize and maximize the value of their fan relationships through a set of infrastructure software that we deliver for them.
And I think one of the things that I really was excited about when I learned about your company is this idea that you're solving a problem that I think everyone has experienced on some level. If you've used social media, you're familiar with some of the things, the problems that you're solving, but you kind of just crystallize the greater problem for content creators in a way that I'd never thought about before. But could you get into that? What exactly are the problems that content creators are dealing with that your system solves?
Yeah, so most people are still unfamiliar with this entire industry, right? It's called kind of the creator economy, and essentially
Right.
it's where people create their own content. They create value from some of the things that they can put out into the internet, just like content they can show on YouTube or Twitch or any of these platforms. And so that's actually become such a lucrative market that people are now focusing on how they can, I guess, what is the exact value exchange between the platform and the creator itself. And so what we've seen potentially with just about all of these platforms is that it's not necessarily an equitable division between the revenue split between the platform and the creator itself, right? There are a whole set of challenges that creators face when they are trying to maximize the value of their fan relationships. A few of them are super important and they kind of stand out for everyone. One is that they just don't have what is known as first party data, or essentially understanding of everyone that's in their community, right? They have generally impression data that says, there are maybe 30% of women in your audience, or 65% of men or whatnot, but it doesn't necessarily give you access to who those people are. Any of the information that is vital to maybe monetizing that community from like a retail partnership, for example. Other
Right.
challenges include this issue with influencers and this cancel culture, if you will, right? So I think most people are familiar with that word, cancel culture, and it's a real thing for influencers. If you have done some things in the past, or if you could potentially piss off the wrong group, you can be banned from one of these platforms, and that directly impacts your ability to for your livelihood, if you will, right? If you are a creator. And so that's a real challenge. And I think, there are some challenges on the horizon as well that we kind of take a look at and talk to influencers about, things like the internet becoming a place where you can't leverage tracking cookies any longer to
Right.
retarget your fans, right? So these are all cogent challenges that we're talking to our clients about, essentially educating them on their rights and how they can, as I mentioned, maximize the value of their fan relationships.
Yeah, it really is putting the content creators in the driver's seat in a way that they've never been before because, as we all know, you may say that those are your photos on Instagram or on Facebook, but really, if you read the fine print of the terms and conditions that no one reads, you'll see that at best it's a shared ownership. At worst, they have control and make the rules for things that you are putting out in the world. So, um, what's the experience like if someone's on your platform, and what exactly will they experience when they join as part of your group?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. So ours is where we are essentially focusing on shifting that control, as you described, right?
Yeah,
And I think the first thing that we do to kind of enable that control is to allow influencers to build a platform in their name, image, and likeness, right? And so we have what's called a super composable platform. It's tied to the web domain of our clients. So the number one thing is that they have true ownership there, right? Is
right.
their domain, is what they pay for. And so I think that's the first step, is that your content shouldn't necessarily live on any of these other platforms. Obviously, I don't think there will be a replacement anytime soon for social media, right? It's kind of the digital soapbox, if you will, for many creators to go out and not only connect with their audience members, but to see what other creators and other influencers are up to. And I don't think that'll be taken away. And we're not trying to replace social media at all. But I do think there should be describe as this digital home, if you will, for your content to live, for your community to live, and that does give a greater level of control for our clients who are creators and influencers, and we think that's valuable. So the experience is a little bit different, where you're still creating the content, right? You're still doing the same thing that you do now. We don't necessarily create a whole new set of processes that you're going through. I think it's just about the steps that you take in sequence, right? As far as putting that content out there, where it should initially start at your platform powered by XR Sports, versus starting on YouTube, if you will. You can still share it on YouTube, obviously, but people who are podcast content creators, people who are driving a ton of views through music videos and things of that nature, all of that content should live forever on something that you own, right? Instead of something that you really don't have the keys to, if you will.
Yeah, and you're solving a problem for those who are within the community as well, because you're lessening the friction of becoming a part of an influencer's community. So you don't have to go to over here to get your content for the podcast, and then over here for Netflix. I mean, for Netflix, for Instagram, and then it's all these things under one roof. And then you're also laying on top of it Web3 that allows for an even more exciting experience, and something that's, I'd say, adds another layer of possibilities for what the influencers are able to do. So it just removes friction for the influencers as well as their community members utilizing some new technologies.
Indeed, yeah. I think we're super excited about Web3 and kind of blockchain based solutions for sure. And we think it adds another layer of value capture for creators. And to your point, we absolutely think that the way that influencers are really connecting with their fans, really getting the fans. I think was more to your point, really getting the fans to connect with their brands, right? Is
Right.
is a flawed process, right? So I'll give you a quick example. If I think we both know influencers or athletes or even brands that have launched an NFT campaign, and NFT is just one of these Web3 tools that do help you to kind of capture some value from the content that you can create. That process, as it stands right now, for the most part, is an influencer would go tell someone, hey, you have to go download a crypto wallet in order to receive the asset, if you will. Typically, they push their fans to another third-party site. Discord's a popular platform where communities are built. And so, after you download the wallet, then you need to go to Discord in order to join the community. And then you actually need to go to another third site in order to receive the asset, in order to purchase the asset, right? Which is an NFT marketplace, right? And so our platform essentially streamlines that process. It brings, all of those steps into one frictionless process. And essentially it's streamlined. It makes it super easy for an influencer or a creator to launch an NFT campaign, or to even have any blockchain enabled assets, right, distributed to their fans, because no one wants to go to 3 and 4, on both sides, right? From the creator side, no one really wants to push their fans to a third party. It's just very hard to send these guys all over the internet and then bring them back to your platform. And then from the consumer standpoint, from the fan standpoint, I think the main thing they want is just the direct access to the influencer, right? To this brand that they have affinity with. They don't necessarily want to go to all of these different third-party sites in order to gain that access. And so we remove a lot of those barriers, bring that all under a platform that's, as I mentioned earlier, that's tied to the domain of our clients, which we think makes it super easy, very much more efficient for fans and creators to connect.
Yeah. So where did this idea come from? How did you come to it? And then how did you come to the recognizing this problem and then come to this idea of how to solve it? What was your journey like?
Yeah, so it's actually not a problem that I have directly. So I'm not a YouTuber. If anyone was
Yet, who
yes.
knows? Maybe future. I don't know.
No, so a part of my background is I actually worked in venture capital, and I worked at a venture studio in Frisco, Texas, for a number of years, and my focus specifically was building investment theses around the gaming and esports industry. And so we got a chance to work with some groups that were in that space, content creators, professional organizations that their revenue model was built around content creation as well. And one of these challenges that we saw that stuck out, across all of these groups that we were working with, who are essentially masters of social media, right? These guys have all guys and gals have all created massive communities on social media, right? And there was this key challenge that stood out to us, is that when they went to go develop these retail partnerships, right, brand sponsorships and marketing relationships with folks that wanted to kind of get access to their community or access to their brand, it was very, it was really, really complicated and confusing as to the dynamic of that relationship, right? Because everything essentially had to go through social media. These guys didn't really have a presence outside of social media. And so some of them would be leaving, potentially 7-figure deals on the sideline because they just didn't have a really clean way to activate those relationships between a brand and the creator itself. And so the idea actually started out as figuring out, how can we integrate brands more closely into these communities that the creators were leading, and we finally set on a software solution that supported that, right? And this is kind of the birth of XR Sports, which was infrastructure that really connected brands to these digital experiences. And ultimately it's morphed into what we described earlier as these fan engagement hubs, with the influencers kind of leading the charge with all their content. They're still doing the same things that they were doing on social media, but now it does give kind of that platform for retailers and marketing partners to more cleanly integrate themselves into these digital experiences. And so, yeah, we are super excited about where we are with the platform, but it started quite some time ago, this problem that we found, and really set out to address the concern about 3 years ago now.
So it's 3 years on that you've been an entrepreneur, a startup founder. I'm wondering, what has your journey been like? I mean, I would imagine that there's a lot of things that as the company grows, there's a lot of growth that you go through as well. And I'm just wondering, for in those 3 years, what have you experienced in your journey?
Oh, a ton. Yeah. So my, my journey is pretty extensive. It's what you would say super unconventional, I think. So I'm not actually a first time founder. I'm what people consider serial entrepreneurs, right? So it's not necessarily my first rodeo. My professional career actually started very early in the military, and I spent 8 years in the U.S. Navy submarine community, and transitioned after the military undergraduate studies in Texas, and then essentially jumped right into kind of the startup world. I don't know. This was 2009, 2010 or so, and so almost a little more than a dozen years in technology and innovation specifically. And yeah, my journey's been great. I've learned a ton, as many people do on this type of journey, and it made some great relationships, some really cool alliances as well. But yeah, I kind of fell in love with gaming and esports. Growing up as a person that's always been kind of connected to digital life and digital experiences, it was super fascinating to really see that there was an entire industry that had been made around gaming, specifically around these communities that connected around the storylines of games and the characters within these games, right? And that's really what drove us to build something specifically for these creators, right? But yeah, our journey is one that has way more ups than downs, and it's just super exciting to be a part of the startup community, specifically in North Texas, but now here in South Texas and Houston with DivInc. It's just been great.
What brought you to DivInc? How did you make your way uh, to this program or this accelerator?
So actually brought me to DivInc,
Okay.
right? And for those on stream that aren't familiar, Ashley runs the Sports Technology Accelerator, and he and I go way back. Actually, we were a part of another type of program similar to this Sports Tech program that he's launched here. And we just got a chance to know each other very well, have become good friends, and he's like, "Kid, I'm building something you won't believe what's happening here." And the innovation economy, the innovation community in Houston is dynamic, dude. You got to get down here and see it. I did get a chance to visit some time ago. It was actually just after the lockdowns were restricted, were rescinded. Believe it was early 2021, and
Mhm.
got a chance to get down here and see firsthand some of the things that actually was kind of working on at this time. It was really just pen and pad, and some of the things on the whiteboard that he was sharing with me. And I thought it was just incredible, kind of the vision that he had. And he just hit me up, and he's always kind of been connected to what we're doing at XR Sports,
Yeah.
in many ways, right? He's been, not only a really good friend and confidant, but someone I could kind of bounce some ideas across, right? And so he's just been great all around. But yeah, he hit me up and said, "Dude, this thing that we were talking about, I actually am going to put this in motion, and I want you to be a part of it, right? You should apply, and I think you'd be a good fit." And yeah, I went through the process, got a chance to meet Preston, and talk through some of the things that we were working on at XR Sports. He thought it was um, a really solid idea, and some of the things that we were working on. And so, here we are. It's been a good journey for sure.
How's it been in the accelerator itself, working with your fellow cohort members and our mentors and um, just our coaches and the team itself? What's that been like?
It's been solid. I can't complain at all. DivInc is great. It's refreshing, I would say, more than anything, right? It's I don't know. I can't go on too much about you guys, right? People
I
gonna
mean,
think I'm
we
getting
have,
paid.
if you want to dedicate the rest of this time.
No, no,
But I think we
it's
can do
really been
some,
good.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
what you guys are doing, obviously even just the platform that you're giving me now, I think is incredible. These are all unique experiences. Obviously, accelerator programs are not too unfamiliar to the majority of people in startup communities, right? Where they give you this set curriculum and kind of walk you through the startup process from incorporation all the way to go to market and fundraising. So a lot of those things are very similar, right? But I think the key is the point that you mentioned, right? Which is, obviously the DivInc staff and the team and the mentor network. Those things are all dynamic, right, and unique to DivInc. And I think it's just been phenomenal, right? The cohort members have been great. We've all bonded and kind of focused on building our tribe and our community, which has been great. There's some brilliant young people here in this sports tech cohort. I speak from kind of an OG perspective and kind of been around a little bit to know talented people when I see them. And so everyone's just been great. Everyone from the cohort members, obviously the DivInc staff has been great. But I think kind of the backdrop of Houston and everything that's happening specifically in the sports tech realm here in Houston has really, just giving even more credence to what we've been able to accomplish here in such a short time. So it's been phenomenal for us.
well, you are in the final stretch to the end of the accelerator, but also demo day on June
Mhm.
30th. Next week, and well, actually, it'll when this airs, it'll be this week on Thursday, June 30th. And I'm wondering, what is it that you're doing to get prep for that? I know pitch practice definitely, but in general, what are you up to in preparation for demo day, and what happens after demo day?
Yeah, I think demo day for us is it's just another opportunity to share our story, right? I think, and that's a big part of your entrepreneurial journey or our entrepreneurial journey. I would say is really just sharing what it is that we're working on, kind of educating folks about this opportunity and this pain point that we discovered, and how we are impacting the clients that we work with, right? From their ability to really gain a foothold in the creator economy, for them to start to think about their businesses in a different way, I think is really important for us. But specifically for demo day, we're excited about it. Obviously, you guys are going to put a unique DivInc spin on it. I can't wait for people to see that. It's going to be incredible, and I think it'll be something that even after the program, we use that momentum to really hit our next milestones and really focus on the next leg of our journey. But absolutely looking forward to demo day.
Well, and I'm wondering, as we're getting in the lead up to demo day, what can our community do for you to support you and make sure that you're finishing strong, and that we're supporting you even beyond demo day when all that is done and you're now a DivInc alumni?
Um, well, I don't know. There are a ton of things. I'm an entrepreneur. I need a ton of stuff. So,
Pull up
so
this.
I'll definitely let you guys know what I need. I think from the community, more than anything, just show up and support, right? I think the demo day is going to be a dope event, right? It's going to be a ton of energy in the building. If you happen to have the ability to come and do it live, I think that's going to be incredible. But obviously, I believe you guys will be live streaming as well. But yeah, I think that for people who are actively building products, it'll be a good chance to really see kind of the culmination of this particular cohort. For folks that are interested in joining the startup community or starting their own project, I think this will be a good opportunity to to learn a little bit about what it takes to do some of those things, and maybe even talk to some of the people who have done it, and maybe a little bit further on their journey can share some of the tips that they have. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be more of a celebration
Yeah.
than anything and than anything else. So yeah, totally ready for it.
Great. Well, like I said, Demo Day is on June 30th here at the Ion in Houston, Midtown. And you can visit our website, divinc.org/events, to register and be there. And like Ked mentioned, we will also be streaming live on all of our social media platforms. So you'll be able to watch us online as well. Ked, I want to thank you so much for slicing out some time in your day. I know y'all are busy and prep for Demo Day. So thank you so much for giving of your time and sharing your story with us today. I am super excited for all of y'all to join us and see more about KED, see more about the rest of the cohort members. And thank you to Verizon, who is our title sponsor for our 5G Sports Tech Accelerator this spring 2022. And more to come. We have a few more founders to interview and a few more people to bring on and talk about Demo Day as it comes down the line. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. And until next time, have a great day. Bye.